Another interesting, shocking, or just strange, but very true story with you. In 2015, 18-year-old Cheyenne Rose Antoine and her best friend Brittany Gargle did something that many young girls do.
What did they do?
Something they didn't think twice about.
What was that?
They took a selfie, a picture that would later come back to haunt one of them. The picture shows the friends posing together.
Alright. Picture's innocent enough. Two young ladies doing their signature smiles to the camera. I can't even make out what I see back there.
Cheyenne grinning and holding the phone, and Brittany smirking with a hand on her hip. They posted the picture to Facebook and went on a night out. The story goes that the two ended up hopping between bars in downtown Saskatoon. At some point during the night, Brittany apparently met a man. Brittany and this man hit it off, getting along so well that she decided to leave with him.
Mistake number one.
Time after Brittany and Cheyenne had parted ways, Cheyenne decided to use social media to get back in contact with her friend. She made a post on Facebook asking her where she had gone. "Where are you, Brittany? Haven't heard from you. Hope you make it home safe, and I need my phone. Love ya." She never received a reply. This is the case's first twist, but I could never have predicted the outcome. In the early hours of the next morning, a driver was going down the dark valley road when he noticed something peculiar on the side of the road. As he approached, he realized that it was the body of a young woman. When he saw her neck and the markings there, he realized that she was dead and had probably been strangled. The man, of course, called the police.
You go to a bar, you and your girlfriends go to a bar. You know, that whole leaving with strangers shit is like, it's a stranger. I could see if it was somebody that you had a history with or whatever for one to let the other one go and shit, but you should roll with who you rolled with.
A woman came forward and said she was worried that the body belonged to her friend. It was determined to be Brittany Gargle. They utilized the girl's social media, and everything seemed to point to the mysterious man who Brittany had left the bar with. But that isn't what actually happened at all. Here's where it gets crazy. Investigators go to interview Cheyenne. After all, she was Brittany's best friend, and presumably one of the last people to see her alive. She worriedly tells the police, "Yeah, we got ready together that night and then went to the bar and then a house party. And then last we went to Colonial Pub and Grill. That's where Brittany asked some dude for a lighter and kinda invited him to tag along with us. But after that I got dropped off at the Lighthouse. It's an assisted living shelter, because I wanted to visit my uncle and I never saw Brittany again after that." But still, the investigators did their due diligence and sought to tie up this loose end by double-checking Cheyenne's timeline with the surveillance footage taken at the pub she said they last visited. And that's when they saw something that made their blood run cold. They couldn't find any trace of either Brittany or Cheyenne at the establishment.
You lying.
Investigators were taken aback. Could the sweet teenage girl they'd just spoken with really know more than she was letting on?
Well, that kills the whole theory of leave with who you came with, evidently.
They checked the security footage from the Lighthouse shelter. Cheyenne and her uncle had never met up that night either. It was the innocent selfie that the two took and posted only 6 hours before the discovery of Brittany's death that finally broke the case and was the key to unraveling the truth. When Brittany's body was discovered, something had been nearby, but at the time, no one thought too much about it. It was a black belt, a belt that was later believed to be the weapon used to strangle her. And that distinctive belt, braided, thick, was awfully familiar.
Look at that, man. That's her homegirl right there. They homegirls in that picture. Or is she plotting to kill her at that point already? That's her friend right there. You know, the world I came up in is a world of friends killing friends. Look at that, ladies. Take a good look. That smiling friend that you taking selfies with, she could be the one.
That same belt was the one in the photo the girls had taken at the beginning of the night and was worn by Cheyenne. What actually happened that night? Well, unfortunately, it still doesn't totally make sense to this day. The friends spent the evening drinking, and for the most part they had a good time, but this didn't last. At some point during the night, the alcohol the two had been consuming stopped encouraging their laughter and instead fueled a heated argument. Brittany never met a man and left with him. The Facebook post Cheyenne had made to Brittany that night was an attempt to cover her
Still doesn't mean you should talk to strangers. Don't leave with strangers, man. Sometimes it's not safe to leave with the ones you think love you either. Shit.
tracks, and she used social media to create a web of lies that kept investigators looking for a different suspect. Ultimately, it was a tip to the police from a witness who claimed Cheyenne confessed to the unthinkable. Reportedly, she had shown up
2-year investigation, they couldn't put it together. You opened your mouth to somebody and that did you in.
at the witness's house and hysterically confessed to how she had hurt her friend, hitting and strangling her. But what kind of argument could lead someone to kill their best friend? We don't know. Cheyenne says she doesn't remember strangling Brittany, but she doesn't dispute that she killed her.
You see, we had this conversation over another video. If you black out when you drink, you probably shouldn't drink. Because we ain't trying to hear that I ain't remember shit. Later, during, none of that.
Cheyenne was initially charged with the second-degree murder of her best friend, Brittany Gargle. But at the trial in 2018, she pleaded guilty to a charge of manslaughter and was sentenced to 7 years behind bars.
Well,
looking at the picture,
I guess blackout drunk worked out for her.
I find it so eerie to see Brittany smiling happily after having just helped her friend decide to wear the weapon that would be used to kill her.
Sealed their fate with a fashion decision. Or with a night out on the town, man. Drinking, blackout, argue over nothing. Somebody ends up dead. Stupid shit.